Have you ever stopped to think that maybe you're failing because you're trying too hard? And what if I told you that the secret to high performance isn't in doing more, but in letting go more? No, this isn't cheap self-help talk. This is strategy, and it's older than any productivity book out there. It's an ancient teaching. It's detachment. But hold on, when you hear the word detachment, what comes to mind? Giving everything up? Living in isolation? Becoming a monk meditating in a cave? That might be the image most people have. But real detachment is a superpower. And if you want to reach true high performance, the kind that goes beyond productivity and taps into your full potential, you'll need to learn how to let go. Let go of what? Of results, of pressure, of expectations, of control. Yes, even control. And that's exactly where the key lies. In this video, you'll understand how detachment isn't weakness. It's focus. It's not giving up. It's direction. Detachment isn't losing. It's gaining everything that truly matters. And I'll show you, step by step, how that happens. But before we begin, answer me honestly. Are you tired of trying, and still feeling like you're not moving forward? Have you ever felt that even when you give it your all, there's still a weight holding you back? Then stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear might set you free. Literally, we live in an era where everything revolves around more. More productivity, more goals, more performance, more results, more likes, more success. But at what cost? How many times have you felt exhausted, even after doing everything right? How many times have you achieved something big and still felt incomplete? That happens because we're attached to an ideal, a model of success that was planted in our minds from an early age. Only when I have this, or get there, or become that, then I'll be happy. That is the biggest myth of modern high performance. And that's why so many people are living in burnout, anxiety, and frustration, even while being productive. Do you know why? Because it's not the excess of work that breaks us. It's the excess of attachment. Attachment to control. Attachment to how things should be. Attachment to the fear of failure. Attachment to what others will think. And the more attached we are, the more tense, distracted, and self-sabotaging we become. Have you felt that yourself? Maybe you're feeling it right now. But what if I told you there's another way? A silent, deep, transformative way that can put you in a state of absolute focus, mental lightness, and total clarity. This approach is ancient. Thousands of Buddhist masters practiced it. And today, high-performance athletes, top CEOs, and elite artists are applying it. Its name is conscious detachment. And no, it doesn't mean giving up. It means freeing your mind to perform better. In the next few minutes, I'll guide you through this journey. You'll understand how letting go of what holds you back is the only way to reach what takes you beyond. To understand the power of detachment, we need to return to its roots. In Buddhism, detachment isn't about forcefully giving up material things. It's not about suffering in order to evolve. It's about freeing yourself from the illusion that you must control everything to be happy. Look at what Buddha said over 2,500 years ago. Suffering arises from attachment. And we feel this every day. Have you noticed how attachment brings fear? Fear of losing, fear of not being enough, fear of failing, fear of disappointing others. These fears drain our focus, our energy, and our lightness. And what is high performance, if not acting with focus, energy, and lightness? See the logic? The more fear, the less performance. The more attachment, the more fear. Now imagine if you could break that cycle. Imagine if you could release yourself from what's holding you back. Wouldn't that be liberating? And now I ask you, what's holding you back today? Is it the fear of failing? Is it someone's opinion? Is it a standard you've imposed on yourself? Be honest with yourself. You don't need to tell me, but feel free to write in the comments if you want to let it out. There are many people here looking for the same thing as you, and together we can grow. In the next few minutes, I'll show you 3 pillars of detachment that Buddhist masters used to reach a state of such deep clarity that nothing could shake them. When applied to your life, these pillars have the power to: white-headed checkmark, reduce anxiety in moments of pressure. White-headed checkmark, increase focus in challenging situations. White-headed checkmark, improve your performance without increasing your effort. White-headed checkmark, and most importantly, bring you peace in the midst of chaos. But take note, these pillars won't work if you're just listening. You need to live them, feel them, practice them, and that's exactly what you're about to learn. Before revealing the 3 pillars, take a deep breath for a moment. Seriously, do it now. Breathe in. Now slowly breathe out. Can you feel that micro moment of presence? That simple pause is the first doorway to what we're going to talk about now. If you want more control over your mind, your focus, and your performance, you must first learn to let go of control. Sounds contradictory, right? But this is the heart of Buddhist wisdom. That's where true strength lies, in the paradox. So let's go straight to the 3 pillars that uphold true detachment, and how they'll transform the way you act, feel, and perform. Have you noticed how most people are living on autopilot? They do, but they're not really there. Their body is present, but their mind is somewhere else. The first pillar of detachment is radical presence. It's being fully in the present moment, without getting lost in judgments, expectations, or projections. Why is this important for performance? Because high performance doesn't happen in the future. It happens now. When you're fully present, your brain works better, your mind calms down, your actions become sharper. It's like an elite athlete entering a flow state. They are not thinking about the podium. They are focused on every movement, every breath, every second. That is presence. And to be present, what do you need to let go of? The past, the future, anxiety. Can you remember a time when you were so focused on something that time seemed to stop? Maybe while drawing, running, cooking, meditating. That state is more powerful than any productivity hack. And it only happens when you let go of mental noise and anchor yourself in the now. This might be the hardest of all, and also the most liberating. How many times have you poured your heart into something, only to be disappointed because the outcome wasn't what you expected? Expectation is one of the greatest thieves of peace, and of performance too. When you act with intention, you're putting your energy into what you want to achieve. But when you cling to expectation, you start living in the future. And if the result doesn't turn out exactly how you imagined, you feel frustrated, like a failure, paralyzed. The second pillar of detachment is this: act with intention, but free yourself from attachment to the outcome. This is the balance that monks train for years to master. And today, some of the biggest names in modern high performance are rediscovering it. Did you know that Kobe Bryant, for example, used to speak about this? He said his focus wasn't on winning or losing. It was on giving his best in that moment. Without that, he wouldn't have been able to maintain such consistency. Now think with me. How many times have you held yourself back from doing something out of fear you wouldn't achieve the perfect result? And what if, instead of trying to control the outcome, you simply focus on acting with heart, with presence and clarity? You'd be surprised by how much your performance would improve. This is the deepest pillar and perhaps the most transformative. Letting go is not giving up. It's choosing to stop carrying what's no longer needed. Imagine you're climbing a mountain, but you're carrying a backpack full of stones. Each stone is a fear, a belief, a wound, an expectation. You might still be able to climb, but you'll waste much more energy. Now, imagine you start removing those stones, bit by bit, one by one. What happens? You climb more lightly, more swiftly, with more clarity. The Buddhist practice of letting go is exactly that. And here's something powerful. You can let go of something right now. It doesn't have to be tomorrow or next week. You can pause, breathe, and let go. Let go of guilt. Let go of the need to please. Let go of comparison. Let go of destructive self-criticism. Can you think of something you could release right now? Something that's holding you back? Write it in the comments. Truly, you have no idea how many people will connect with what you share. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. And very often, the simple act of acknowledging is the first step in letting go. So let's recap. Pillar 1, radical presence. Stop living on autopilot. Your power is in the now. Pillar 2, intention without expectation. Act with clarity, but release attachment to the outcome. Pillar 3, the practice of letting go. Letting go is taking the weight out of your backpack so you can climb lighter. These 3 pillars aren't just theory. They are practice. They're a new way of life. And when you begin applying this to your daily routine, everything changes. Your decisions become more conscious. Your actions gain strength. Your mind finds more space. And suddenly, what used to feel like effort becomes flow. But pay attention. Most people won't apply this. They'll watch this video, nod in agreement, and say, "Wow, that's so true." And then go right back to autopilot. Will you be one of those people? Or will you be someone who chooses to do things differently? Detachment takes practice, but the sooner you begin, the sooner you'll reap the rewards. Do you really want to wait until you hit your breaking point to change? Or would you rather start now? In the next section, I'll show you how to put detachment into practice in your daily life. We'll talk about simple habits, smart decisions, and mental training that will elevate your performance without overwhelming you. On top of that, I'll reveal a technique used by Tibetan monks, adapted for the modern world, that can completely shift your relationship with focus, discipline, and productivity. You won't want to miss this. Now that you know the 3 pillars of detachment, radical presence, intention without expectation, and the practice of letting go, it's time to answer the big question: how do I bring this into my real life? Because beautiful, inspiring knowledge means nothing if it doesn't turn into action. If it doesn't change the way you wake up, work, connect, and rest. So from this point on, let's turn wisdom into action. And I ask you, stay with me in this next part with full attention, because what you're about to learn could be the shift you've been waiting for, the key to moving out of stagnation and into a real state of high performance without pressure, guilt, or stress. And more, you'll see that applying detachment doesn't mean becoming too zen or passive. Quite the opposite. Detachment is the greatest way of taking internal control, while releasing what's outside your control. Shall we begin? 1. The first practice, morning detachment. The way you begin your day shapes your mind for the hours that follow. Most people start their day on autopilot, grabbing their phone, reading messages, checking social media. In other words, connecting to the outside world before connecting to themselves. But if you truly want to perform at your best with lightness, focus, and purpose, you need a morning routine based on detachment. How does that work? Here's a simple ritual you can start tomorrow. Morning detachment ritual, 5 steps. Wake with awareness. Before you get out of bed, take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, what can I let go today? Avoid your phone for the first 30 minutes. This is crucial. The first half hour of your day sets your dominant mental state. If you consume chaos, you start anxious. Meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. Use this time to observe your breath. Don't try to control anything. Just be there. This activates your radical presence. State your intention without expectation. Say out loud, "Today, I give my best," without attachment to the outcome. This activates the second pillar. Write down one thing you'll let go today. It could be a thought, a fear, a pressure. Write it down and say to yourself, "I release this." These 5 simple steps can have a deep impact. They align your mind with a state of action without tension. And the most powerful part? You can do it all in just 10 to 15 minutes. It's not about time. It's about priority. Now, answer me honestly. Are you starting your days with control or with chaos? Have a think. And if you want, share in the comments what your mornings have been like. And if you decide to try this ritual, come back and let us know how it went. Your experience might inspire someone else. If the morning ritual is the starting point, the 3 letting go moments technique is a way to maintain lightness throughout the day. How does it work? You will choose 3 strategic moments in your day to pause for 1 minute and consciously let go. It might sound simple, but it's revolutionary. Example of how to apply it. Before starting work, breathe. Let go of the anxiety about performance. Remember, I focus on the now. The result will come. After lunch, breathe. Let go of the rush, the guilt for not having done more. Return to the present moment. Before bed, breathe. Let go of unfinished tasks. Say to yourself, "Today, I did my best. Tomorrow, I begin again, feeling light." This habit resets your mind. It pulls you out of anxiety and brings mental clarity. You can even set a reminder on your phone with the phrase, "Cyclone time to let go cyclone." Over time, this becomes automatic, and you stop being a prisoner of daily pressure. You become the center of your own energy. Another vital point is understanding that much of our suffering comes from attachment to labels. I'm a perfectionist. I'm anxious. I'm bad at this. I'm good at that. These labels build a mental prison, because from that point on, you stop acting freely. You start acting to protect what you believe you are. But here's a raw truth. You are not your labels. You are pure awareness with the potential to transform yourself whenever you choose. Letting go of attachment to labels is the gateway to freeing your performance. From now on, every time you notice a thought labeling you, say silently to yourself, "That's just a thought. I am more than this." This small gesture breaks the automatic pattern and creates space for new possibilities. In the next part, we'll take an even bigger leap. You'll learn how to use detachment in big decisions, in long-term projects, and even in relationships without losing your power, without losing yourself. We'll explore white-headed checkmark how to make difficult decisions with lightness. White-headed checkmark how to perform at a high level without inner conflict. White-headed checkmark how to stay disciplined without rigidity. And most importantly, white-headed checkmark how to build a new mindset. one that acts without clinging, delivers without self-punishment, and focuses without pressure. I'll also show you how this mindset is currently being used by leaders, athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs who are performing at their peak without burning out. But before we go on, pause for a moment. Breathe. Feel the now. Everything you need to change your life is already within you. But the mind stubbornly keeps searching outside, doesn't it? Now it's time to take an even deeper step. To bring detachment into your choices, your projects, your relationships, and most importantly, into your self-perception. This is where many people get lost. They can meditate, they can follow a morning ritual, but in moments of pressure, in the heat of the moment, they fall back into old patterns of attachment. That's where true mastery comes in. 1. Kobe Bryant, letting go of mistakes and the obsession with the now. Kobe Bryant is remembered as one of the greatest players in NBA history. But what few people know is that his true strength didn't come from talent. It came from detachment. In an interview, someone asked him, "Kobe, how do you handle the pressure of making mistakes in front of millions?" And he replied, "I don't think about it. If I make a mistake, I learn. But if I freeze from fear of making a mistake, I lose before the game even begins." Kobe understood that true performance comes from being 100% present, without fear of judgment, without clinging to the past, and without anxiety about the outcome. He spoke often about surrendering to the process. And that is detachment. Detachment from ego. Detachment from the need to be perfect. Detachment from the desire to control the end of the game. Now I ask you, white right pointing backhand index, in what area of your life are you afraid of making mistakes? White right pointing backhand index, and if you let go of that fear today, what would change? 2. Eckhart Tolle, from rock bottom to full presence. Eckhart Tolle was an ordinary man until, at the age of 29, he had such a deep depressive crisis that he considered taking his own life. But one night, while drowning in negative thoughts, something happened. He said, "Suddenly, I realized there were two of me, the me that was suffering and another that was simply observing." That night, he experienced the most radical detachment of all. Detachment from the ego itself. And there, the master of presence was born. Today, he's the author of The Power of Now and inspires millions around the world. But the truth is, he didn't build that. He let go of what he wasn't. Can you see the difference? White right pointing backhand index. Sometimes your true strength doesn't lie in what you still need to achieve, but in what you need to let go of. 3. Ayrton Senna, detachment as a state of being. Senna was obsessive, perfectionist, disciplined, but above all, he was spiritual. In an iconic interview, he said, "When you feel you're connected with something greater, everything flows. You don't think, you just act." That's a pinnacle of detachment. It's not the absence of effort. It's the alignment between effort and surrender. He trained harder than everyone, prepared more than anyone. But when it came to race time, he let it all go. Senna knew that an attached mind stalls, and that true performance is born when you dissolve into the moment. White right pointing backhand index, when was the last time you felt that? White right pointing backhand index, when was the last time you didn't think? You just did? 4. Steve Jobs, detaching from comfort and the power of intuition. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. He lost everything, felt humiliated, ridiculed. But you know what he said years later? "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that ever happened to me. It freed me to start over with a beginner's mind." He could have drowned in pride, but he chose to let go. And it was that empty space that allowed the iPod, iPhone, and iPad to be born. The second Apple was even more brilliant. Jobs also spoke a lot about following intuition. And intuition only appears when the mind is free of noise. White right pointing backhand index, how many of your ideas have been suffocated by fear of losing something? White right pointing backhand index, and what if the thing you're most afraid to lose is the very thing holding you back? 5. Munja Koan, detachment as a daily practice of clarity. Munja Koan is one of the leading names in Zen Buddhism in Brazil. She often repeats a powerful phrase: everything changes, everything passes, and everything belongs. She teaches detachment not as a concept, but as a daily practice of observing, accepting, and releasing. Feeling anger? Observe. Feeling attachment? Observe. Feeling a desire to control? Observe. And let go, but without rejection, without repression, simply by acknowledging and releasing. It takes practice, but the more you practice, the lighter you feel. White right pointing backhand index, what emotion are you trying to control right now? White right pointing backhand index, what would happen if you simply accepted it and let it go? 6. Detachment applied to success. The story of Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, the actor, made millions laugh, but few know he struggled with deep depression, even at the height of his fame. In a talk, he revealed something surprising. Depression is your body saying, I don't want to be this character you created anymore. He realized he was attached to an identity that wasn't real. And only when he began to meditate, paint, connect with nature, and release the need to be Jim Carrey did he start to heal. Today, he speaks about spirituality and presence with more strength than many teachers. White right pointing backhand index, what character are you trying to maintain out of fear of what others will think? White right pointing backhand index, and what if letting go of that character is the first step toward your healing? 7. Conclusion, the power of practical inspiration. Did you notice the pattern? All these people, from masters to millionaires, athletes to artists, discovered the same key. True performance happens when you let go. It's not about doing less. It's about doing it with lightness. It's not about giving up. It's about acting with freedom. And this is available to you right now. You just need to make a choice. Continue carrying what weighs you down, or start letting go. I want to hear from you now. White right pointing backhand index, which of these stories touched you the most? White right pointing backhand index, what insight stirred something inside you? Leave a comment. Share. Because when you express what you feel, you anchor the lesson, and you inspire others who may be going through the same. If this video touched your heart, then #subscribe to the channel now to keep walking this path of self-discovery, spirituality, and high performance. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the upcoming videos. There's so much more on the way. Speech balloon and drop a comment below. What are you going to let go of starting today? Your answer could be the beginning of a whole new story, not just for you, but for someone who will be inspired by it too. See you in the next video. And until then, remember, those who let go, fly. Those who trust, arrive. Those who live in the now have already won.